Sunday night, in the King of the Ring, Hulk Hogan, you and the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, been rapping about Yokozuna and me. But let me tell you, boy, son, you're gonna pay. Pay indeed. You told us and told the public that you're gonna Pearl Harbor Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji.
Bullseye!
Let me tell you this, boy, son. When my Yokozuna applied a kamikaze bomb on you, it is finished. The belt that you stole from him in Wrestlemania 9, we'll reclaim it back to ourselves. And all the people in Japan, including the Emperor, be very, very happy. We come home with a big celebration. And you, Jimmy Hart, I would take care of you by myself. Nay!
Bullseye! Yes, nay! Sayonara!
Hello, welcome to that 90s Wrestling Podcast. The Wrestling Podcast takes you back to the glory years of WWE, the 1990s. I have not done that intro for such a while. Make the most of it because we are getting into the new generation era, so I won't be saying that much more often. But tonight we are reviewing King of the Ring 93. It was held on June the 13th in the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. And joining me once again, we have Mags, Rob and Dan. Lads, when's the last time you watched this show?
Today. And then about a month ago, maybe. It's on my regular rotation. I just watch it over and over and over again. It's all I got the network for.
It's so for people what's thinking. So I made a balls up, you could say. So we have recorded this beforehand, and it was a fun episode. But unfortunately, I forgot to download the video and the audio, so we lost it. So this is our second round reviewing the show. But,
yeah, there's the
we.
That's a very royal way if I've ever heard one. That is not a team
down,
thing.
if I'm going down, I'm taking his women. But yeah, so this is our second round to it. But I'm sure we'll be having just as much fun. But yeah, the rest of the media at the time, top of the UK movie chat, was falling down there. Michael Douglas. Yeah, Michael Douglas,
Yeah.
isn't it? I get mixed up with him and Kirk Douglas. I remember one time my mother said to me, we was on about celebrities. This was years ago. And she was talking to my dad. And my dad was taking the piss out of her. She says, my mum's like, Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's getting married to that Douglas guy, ain't she? He went, my dad said, yeah, Kirk Douglas.
And I know
at the time.
Yeah, well, there's not much less of an age gap, is there?
No. And top of the US movie charts, movie everyone loves, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't strong arm any references to that in this show, so yeah, I want to know Jurassic Park was in the charts, if you didn't remind me.
Well, they don't have a dinosaur on the roster, do they? So they can't.
They don't now. No.
Where the fuck's
now
Luchasaurus when you
Yokozuna's
need
gobbled him up like a brontosaurus burger.
Yep. Have you seen the new ones, Jurassic Worlds?
I've seen the first of the remakes.
The latest one was so shit. Stupid.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Spoiler alert for people who hasn't watched it, but at the end they literally let the dinosaurs run wild in America. I'm thinking that's going to end well, isn't it?
Yeah,
These carnivores.
One of them ends up being president.
There was plans, before Jurassic Park 3 cancelled a lot. But in Jurassic Park 4, they was actually going to do hybrid dinosaur humans, which would have been fucking awesome.
That sounds like the Jurassic Park version of Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Which was shit, but shit enough to be good.
I like Resurrection. I've mentioned this previously. I prefer it to Alien 3, even though Alien 3's got the better cast. That film's just depressing, whereas in Resurrection, it's just popcorn entertainment.
Yeah. All the aliens are shit.
Shut up.
Get fucked, Mags.
Whoa! I didn't realise...
Alien and Aliens are fucking masterpieces.
They are.
I didn't realise you were stands for Sigourney Weaver.
No, just like...
Neither did I, but apparently so.
Send them off, man. And Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen, we stand. And top of the music chart, so top of the UK music charts, UB40. I can't help falling in love with.
That's now gimmick infringement. I do the singing on podcasts, not other people.
Well, top of the US music charts was Janet Jackson. That's the way love goes. So do you want to sing us that, Max?
Oh, I will let you sing that one if you want.
I don't know it. Video game world, we just got the release of Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo.
Do 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 do.
Oh, those velvet parps.
I remember getting it for Christmas. I was 7. Got that for Christmas with Power Rangers and Aladdin.
That Aladdin game was fucking impossible.
Oh, it was not.
I completed it.
Only if you try playing it with your feet, it's impossible.
I was 4 when it came out. It was fucking impossible.
I mean, at 4, yeah, probably.
I was 7.
I'm then 14 and 24 and probably 34 when I next get round to it.
In 1993, there'd have been some people dressed up as dodgy Power Rangers on the Brit Rest shows. So, a little tie-in.
I used to have a cheap pad. So do you remember when you can get them pads and if you press turbo, it would slow everything down?
Yeah.
So on the Aladdin stage, so do you remember in the movie as well when he's going through the cave on the carpet and he's trying to escape the lava? So in the game, same thing, you're going through it and you have to literally have reflexes like a cat to dodge all these boulders and whatever, and you got the lava behind you. So I just pressed my turbo button, it'd be like jin, jin, jin. I was like, yeah.
Cheating bastard.
That and Battletoads. If
You should
anyone's
be
ever played
ashamed of yourself. Oh yeah, that turbo tunnel, that is brutal.
Yeah. So thankfully, thanks to everyone who creates the third-party Super Nintendo pads. That really did save my life back in the day. Cool. So lads, we are reviewing King of the Ring 93. So a bit of history. This isn't the first King of the Ring, even though they lead you to believe it is. We've had like previous winners. It was mainly on the house shows and live shows just to boost up ticket sales. And previous winners, first winner was Don the Rock Morocco, then Harley Race, Macho Man, DiBiase, Tito, and in 1991, Bret Hart won it, defeating IRS in the final. So get into the intro, and we see Vince McMahon, and he runs the brackets. So what do you think to this intro?
It was a lovely PowerPoint, wasn't it? I mean, we've talked about the graphics before. Drew Gulak created this intro.
There was a good amount of purple. A good amount of purple.
Yeah. I mean, it is the royal colour.
Oh, yeah. And on commentary...
That's why James has gone for the purple colour on his screen.
I knew that was going to come up eventually.
He's only halfway there. That's fucking brilliant.
It's
a shame we don't do this video format, do we? Why don't we do it on video format, by the way? I've never asked that. It would make my life so much easier when it comes to editing.
Yeah, we can cut out all the libelous stuff, though, so we probably need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to use pseudonyms. Well, Mags already does.
I don't give a fuck about getting sued. I've got fuck all anyway.
Well, so, yeah, on commentary, we've got Jim Ross, Macho Man, and Bobby Heenan. And constantly they repeat it, we're in the heartland of America, Dayton, Ohio.
That won't get fucking old.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. Jesus Christ. I don't even think people in Dayton, Ohio believe that they're the heartland of America.
Where's the heartland of Britain?
It's fucking not Burnley, I'll tell you that for no.
If you believe William Regal, it's Blackpool.
I know,
don't believe
over.
Did he even say
He's not even from bloody Blackpool.
Shito.
It's quite obviously Yorkshire.
Apparently,
God's country.
because WWE are having to run smaller arenas and stuff for Raw in towns that they wouldn't have historically run. They're just saying the state that they're in now. They're not even saying the town because they don't want to sound too pokey.
Wow.
So you'll be getting a lot more of Heartland of America going on from here.
Do you
We
think the
are
Nutter
in
Center
Czech
sounds like a
Notes,
downgraded
Ohio.
place? Cool. And so we get Razor 1, 2, 3 chance, and it's him up first. He's against Bret Hart, and Bret Hart's got on an injured ankle because the night previously he had a 32-minute match with Bob Backlund, which was at MSG, and that was actually Bob Backlund's first pinfall loss at MSG. So since he's returned, he's lost at MSG for the first time. He's lost on TV, his first pinfall loss on TV at WrestleMania, so he's breaking all kinds of records.
The highest profile jobber.
He was probably asleep for half the match like he was at the Royal Rumble.
And good match this was. I really enjoyed it. Brett controls the match early on, and the one thing he does, he works the arm rather than the legs. And Bobby asks who you think the winner will be. Matchman says perfect. JR says he doesn't know. And yeah, Bobby says, of course you don't know. You're from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
so he's already coming in with the jokes.
There was a lot of Heenan gold during this match, and that was one of them. Who JR's going, well, I don't think. Well, of course you don't think you're from Oklahoma, like you say, but it was when Brett gave away the glasses and Heenan called it buying friendship, and then you just saw as Brett's giving the kid the glasses, Heenan calls it buying friendship, as if Razor could hear him. Razor throws his toothpick at the kid in the front row.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
There's a line when Bobby says to Jim Ross, you're from Oklahoma, your biggest achievement is milking a pig.
Heenan had this weird line as well where he said Brett's the kind of guy who'd ask for a wake-up call at 1:23 a.m. to tell him it's 1-2 and he'd kick out of bed.
Yeah, and in this match he starts with he's the 14th out of 13 children. He loved that line all the way through this match.
Oh, he did. And Razor Ramon hits the fall-away slam, which he calls the sack of shit, which I thought was just such a great name, isn't it? Sack of shit.
I never knew he called it that.
Well, this was the era when Vince would just shout "what a maneuver" regardless of whatever it was on TV.
Yeah.
So.
Imagine if you got it wrong and he just went, "What a sack of shit."
I mean, that's maybe where he got the name from. But we're on late '96 on the change attitude, and Vince is still pulling the whole "what a maneuver." So 3 years on, he still hasn't learned the names of any wrestling moves.
Yeah, but he's been on commentary since the 70s. So.
Exactly. That was a Czech's note headlock.
Vince, that was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I was too busy masturbating over at Shawn Michaels.
And in attendance, we also see the Hulk Hogan fan from Survivor Series 91. So
Martin from Barnsley.
He was fucking annoying. I know we said it on the first recording, but he still annoyed me through the second watch. And in fact, I actually noticed something else because you can't not look at him. But there's a guy about 3 rows behind in an orange shirt. Every time the Hulk fan stands up, he stands up to tell him to sit the fuck down and shut up. It's brilliant.
And it's a great spot when Razor tries to hit the Razor's Edge, but Brett reverses it, and he slides down and he kind of walks up over the turnbuckle, flips over Razor to get him with a small package. I thought that was just such a good combination, just that little bit. And then end of the match comes where when Razor puts Brett into position for a top rope backdrop, but Brett turns into it for a crossbody pin, and 1, 2, 3. So thoughts on the match?
It was a great way to start a pay-per-view. We're really off to the races with this one. You sort of got a tournament and they've put a banger on to begin with. In fact, that Cruiserweight Classic when it was Gargano Ciampa in the first match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
You couldn't do any better than lead into a pay-per-view with a Bret Hart match. I mean, how many times over this show have we pinned him as the star of the whole pay-per-view, and to start the match with him and Razor. I mean, Razor is one of the best wrestlers to ever enter the ring as well. But yeah, these two put on a 10-minute clinic. Like James said, they focused on the arm. It wasn't just a kind of like a cookie cutter match. They really kind of like mixed it up. And Brett starts what ends up being a really kind of unique way of winning 3 different matches and having 3 totally different matches throughout the show. So yeah, it's a great start.
This was just a period of Brett's career where he'd never have anything even approaching a mediocre match. He extracted the very best out of everybody. But it just so happened in this match he had Razor Ramon, who was also a top-level opponent. Razor's one of the best to never win a world title on in one of the major promotions. And I can't really expand on anything you guys have said, but it is just 2 of the best going at it. And like I said, the finish itself catches you out of nowhere, which is great after all the, working the arm instead of the legs. It's some great misdirection.
I mean, we've seen some Bret Hart matches on Booking the Territory when he's already got his career-ending concussion in that last month that he wrestles in, and he's still having Head and Shoulders, the match of the night, when he's working with a career-ending injury. It's just insane. Insane.
And one of the things, and this will play out through the night, so during this match, Razor Ramon works on Bret's fingers, but like stamps on them and things like that. And the talking point during this match was that Bret couldn't get the sharpshooter on Razor because Razor was too long, they said, and he could reach the ropes easy. So you'll notice going through the night, like Bret doesn't win any match with a sharpshooter because his fingers is fucked. But great match.
But again, that leads into just how good of a storyteller Bret was, because any other wrestler would have started the second match, looking like worn out, but not still having those injuries that happened in the first match carried all the way through to the third match. He's just so good at the minute details that can take a great match over the edge to make it 5-star. He's like him or dislike him for his personality, but in ring he was elite level.
It's next level intelligence.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like, this is the storyline, and this is what they say. Bret, he's one of the greatest storytellers in the ring. If anyone disagrees with that, then you're wrong. Okay, you can have an opinion, but your opinion is wrong.
You can have an opinion,
you're entitled to your
fucking. You're an idiot for thinking that.
But this is the thing, right? So this is the spot of the match. Like Razor Ramon's injured his fingers, and you're going to see that play out through the whole night. So say 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long the show is, and then 3 matches. So that's through the whole night. But you see today's wrestlers, they're getting the legs injured, for example. Someone's working on the legs. 2 minutes later, they're doing springboards or the dive on the top rope. Please, wrestlers today, right? If you are listening, and I know some of you do, listen. Please just take your time. Learn from Bret. Watch Bret. Don't watch Shawn Michaels. Don't watch Shawn Michaels. Watch Bret. He's a proper teacher. That's why the FTR are better than Young Bucks. They ain't Bret Hart students. Young Bucks idolizes Shawn Michaels. That's why FTR are better.
Wow, I didn't realise this was going to go on to an anti-AEW tangent already.
It's not anti-AEW, it's anti-Young Bucks.
Isn't it?
I thought that.
Stop shit stirring.
And I thought Canyon trained the Young Bucks.
There you go. They grew up, they both wanted to be Shawn. They're not even genetic.
Yeah, just couldn't get into school.
Yeah. So, to a match was not so great. We've got Mr. Hughes v. Mr. Perfect. Mr. I felt like I'd done these jokes a month ago.
They're just as funny as they were then.
But yeah, it shows you Mr. Hughes like doing the beatdown on Taker and taking his own. And Mr. Hughes is in the ring. Mr. Perfect comes into the ring. And the spot of the match, well, it's not even the match, but the spot of the match where Mr. Perfect gets his towel, throws it behind his back, and it lands on Mr. Hughes' shoulder.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect knew it was good because he smiled when he climbed up the rope. What do you think to Mr. Hughes? He's got a great look. I've mentioned it before. Like he looks like a proper Bond villain. You know, that sub boss before he gets to the final. But what do you reckon to his star fight? He's wearing glasses like Edgar Daffod's style.
Yeah, I probably said something along the same lines when we recorded the first time, but he looks like he should be an amazing heel. But then the bell rings and he's absolutely wank at the wrestling. He's slow, he's plodding, and he's a big guy, but there's no kind of energy behind anything he does. All he's got is slow power moves and a mean mug face. This is an awful match. You go from a potential 5-star match in the opening to this shower of shit. It's horrible.
He feels like the sort of person that they would have brought in for Hogan in the mid-'80s. You know, that villain that they have won. Yeah. You know, he just... Yeah, you're right, though. He looks a lot better than he is.
He was much better nearly 10 years later as Jericho's bodyguard.
Yeah.
He was just in that role. Yeah. That was using him to his full potential, I think, because he had the look, he's got the intimidation, and that's all he had. I mean, if Mr. Perfect can't make you look good, then you're fucked.
I mean, even in the beatdown of Undertaker, the package that they showed before that, even that was slow and plodding. It was taking like a minute between shots with the urn, and I think even at one point he goes to it, Undertaker, and he drops the urn, and someone Harvey Whippleman has to give it him back. Yeah, he was just in between the ropes as a wrestler. He was not good as a monster heel. He looked the part. He would have been perfect as a valet or as a bodyguard, someone who just comes in and disrupts matches and attacks. But if he's in a match, no, I do not want to watch Mr. Hughes wrestle ever again.
Well, he had a very similar gimmick to the Big Boss Man when he was in WCW. It was Big Bubba Rogers. He was the henchman for the Midnight Express, and exact same gimmick, except like Boss Man wouldn't sell any moves. This was the thing. But when he came over to WWE, like WWF saw the potential in him and they programmed him with Hogan. The difference was Boss Man was a great wrestler for his size. So that was the difference. But during the match, Bret Hart gets interviewed and they ask him who he'd like to face the winner off. And he says he'd like to wrestle Perfect because he likes him better. And end of the match comes where Mr. Hughes hits Perfect with the end for the DQ finish. And this is the end of Mr. Hughes, sadly.
I will give Mr. Hughes credit for one thing. He got crotched at one point in the match, and he pulled the best over-the-top pained expression. He had his knackers crushed. That was the one great thing he did. And we got some more Heenan like quality as well, saying he I've done a lot of things for Perfect. I made him the star he's today, and then you just got JR just go wrong.
One thing I did like about JR's commentary in this, he was putting over that Mr. Perfect was a second-generation wrestler, and you really, up to this point in WWF, hadn't had that. They'd kind of drawn a line at WrestleMania 1 and nothing happened before, and everyone was in the gimmick that they had, and now they're sort of calling to that. I mean, he did his ubiquitous banging on about Mr. Hughes' college football career, but, that's just JR.
He always had an attitude problem.
The most penalised player in Big 8 conference.
Yes.
He's waffling about college football stats in his sleep, JR, though, isn't he?
That's a good point there, Rob. Is Bret Hart the first one they kind of acknowledge as like second generation when you think about it?
Yeah, probably Bret Hart, but he was... I mean, because they brought his family in and stuff, and I guess to a certain extent, they'd had the arrangement with Stampede, and it was maybe a little bit different. But yeah, most of them they don't.
I know they brought Dustin in, but I'm wondering if they really mentioned it about Bret first being second generation. Off the top of my head, and while doing these shows, he's the first one off the top of my head that they started saying, second generation or. Along those sort of lines.
I think anyone else who was second generation, you knew because there was father and son there at the same time. So there was like
Yeah.
Dave, Bruno, San Martino and whatever. But they were never going to carry the Axe Henning in for this. This is something that they're, just promoting for the sake of it, rather than they both happen to be on TV at the same time.
Ironically, they mention him a few times over the broadcast. I mean, we'll get to it later on, but Mean Gene mentions both the dad's names.
The last time we had something like this was at WrestleMania when they were interviewing, was it Lou Ferrigno, and he was saying about all the wrestlers that he used to watch and his naming like people who've never been in WWF.
And then Vince is at the back like, cut his fucking mic.
Who the hell's he talking about? Damn it, they don't exist.
Cool. So next we see Gene Okerlund, and he's with Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna. They got the Japanese quite nice music in the background, nice peaceful music on the Sony boombox.
Just to nail on the point on a Sony ghetto blaster, Jesus Christ, and the bonsai trees surround it, and a little bonsai tree in a little bath as well, which is something I didn't notice when we first watched it. Yeah, on the top of the CD player, there's a little kind of tin bath, and it's got a little bonsai tree in.
Well, if Marty Jannetty can have a flying orange, then Yokozuna can have a bonsai tree in a bath.
But Mr. Fuji talks about WrestleMania 9, Yoko beating Brett, and then he said Hulk Hogan cheated. I'm thinking he asked for the match. He says this is a bigger Yoko, a wiser Yoko, a stronger Yoko. Yoko looks fucked already.
Definitely a bigger fucking Yoko.
Already heavy breathing.
God, it was sad with Yoko though. I think we covered it on UTT when they did the whole forklift angle when he was getting big, when he was over 600 pounds, and they sent him away to lose some weight, and he came back. Apparently, his final appearance in WWF, he was 800 pounds, which is about 52 stone.
Yeah, because we talked about how the forklift, it was almost like they did it to embarrass him in front of the crowd and in front of the other wrestlers to kind of shame him into losing weight. But unfortunately, it didn't work.
He just took it. He just took it as he needed another buffet.
Yeah, he just thought, buzzing a lift home.
Yeah.
But that's also the same episode where he swore in English.
Yeah. Shit.
So next match we see, it's debuting Bam Bam Bigelow. Did he debut?
No, he was in the tournament at WrestleMania 4, wasn't he? Sure he was.
Oh yeah, debut for this show. My mistake. That's right. He was at Survivor Series as well.
The debut for this show. Every time he appears, it's his debut. He's just making a debut.
Bam Bam Bigelow in his flame onesie.
This is his debut in the 90s. On that 90s wrestling podcast. He's against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Best wishes to Hacksaw. I've just seen a post today from his wife that he's in hospital for emergency surgery, so fingers crossed he pulls through. So we're fans of Hacksaw. Whatever we say, injustice, because we love Hacksaw.
I did see just before we started recording, he has come out of the surgery, and he's seen early indications that it's all right.
Oh, awesome! It's great news, and tremendous ovation when he comes out. I mean, he's always over. Bobby says, "I don't know why."
I mean,
it's the Pavlovian American fucking USA chant. They see a flag and they can't help but cheer for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he could come out now on Raw and be over. Everyone would love him. He's just one of those wrestling's nice guys. I mean, I hope he's one of wrestling's nice guys. I hope we don't get a hashtag Me Too of Jim Duggan later on. But yeah, he just seems to be one of like the nice guys of wrestling.
I think it was Sao Paulo who told us a story about, or said on some podcast about meeting him in I think probably in Gloucester, where he just took the time to speak to everybody and then it actually overran, so they had to vacate the venue, and he just took it all outside, and he took extra time to speak to a little kid who had obviously watched him on the network and stuff like that. Just seems like a really nice bloke.
Mm-hmm.
And not a bad match. There's two big lads. Bam Bam works the ribs mainly, and hits a big body slam, which I was impressed with. And end of the match comes where Bam Bam hits that big diving headbutt for the 1, 2, 3, and this is the final appearance of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Goes off to WCW where he defeats Stone Cold, Stunning Steve Austin on his debut for the US title, I believe. And
it makes a change. Makes a change winning a match for a title rather than just finding one in the bin, doesn't it?
when you're the janitor.
But if you're going to give the US title to anybody at this point, you're going to give it to Jim Duggan.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
Yep. So next we see Terry Taylor, and he's interviewing the Steiners and the
fuck Terry Taylor. Just
Mullet
fucking
party.
Fuck Terry Taylor.
Talks about the upcoming 8-man tag match against Money Inc. and the Head Shrinkers, and all I could just think about was mullets
and porn stashes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the other thing about this, it was a Coliseum Video home exclusive. It makes you not want to buy the Coliseum Video version.
Yeah.
I mean, we get another Terry Taylor later in the show. It's just there's too much Terry Taylor on this pay-per-view for my liking. So I'm going to mark it down just for that.
Rick Stein was the only one on this one who honoured the tradition of the 80s cocaine promo.
Oh, yeah. And next match, it's Narcissus, Lex Luger, and he's against Tatanka. And Bobby Heenan with the line of the night. If Lex Luger has to wear the elbow pad, Tatanka has to tie his shoes. So he can't dance.
It's so casually racist. It's unbelievable.
It was a different time. I feel like we're going to say that a lot when we get to the Attitude Era. It was like 20 years ago.
Well, it wasn't a different time for Jim Ross because he's doing exactly what he does in AEW to this very day. He starts banging on about someone's college football career in this match.
And nobody mentions that Lex Luger looks like a giant baked potato.
A very greasy baked potato. When Tatanka pushes the mirror into him, it just leaves a greasy imprint of Lex Luger on the front. It's almost like his whole body, like he's just been squashed into like a jelly or something. It's like it's like in a cartoon where they just end up like 2D against a wall. Yeah. And they peel off and they like float down like a piece of paper. Yeah, pretty much like that.
Like that, but with baby oil.
Yeah.
It is literally unbelievable where we go from Lex Luger at King in the Ring to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It's like night and day.
All because they give him a fucking bus.
And Bam Bam, he's doing an interview during the match. I can't wait to get my hands on the Indian.
Dear.
But they need an interview in this match because it was so fucking slow and plodding and felt like it took about 3 hours.
Yeah, which is surprising because Tatanka's usually quite a fast wrestler, but Luger's in the match. And yeah, it's like wrestling a tree. It just there's no give with him at all.
He'd get more out of a tree.
Yeah, how he fashioned such a career at the top of wrestling is beyond me because talent-wise, there is none there. It's all looks.
And that's all Vince cares about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people talk about $1 Million Man being in Vince's image. The narcissist is definitely in Vince's image. He's the kind of guy who does stare at himself in the mirror with baby oil for hours and hours on end. Oh,
touching his tits.
Look at those titties.
I'm so vascular.
I'm a genetic jackhammer.
Because he's slow stroking his cock.
I know we disagreed about this last time we recorded it, but I've still not changed my opinion. I quite liked this match. I mean, I think the thing is, because I love a draw in wrestling, because you don't tend to get many draws in wrestling. And, it's something that, certainly with British sports, we'll play cricket for 5 days and it'll still be a draw, but you can get a decent draw. And, as soon as it went, the sort of clocks in the last 5 minutes, you were getting sort of all the near falls, that were sort of ramping up the excitement. So
I will give you that. The last 5 minutes were good. It was just the 20 minutes up to that was fucking bullshit.
I liked the whole thing at the start with, the whole Lex Luger has to put the elbow pad on because he's got the plate in his arm, and him being pissed off about that, and the whole thing with the mirror. And again, commentary were on fire, Jim Ross said that they shouldn't. Bobby Heenan said that they shouldn't have called Jim Ross. Jim Ross, they should have just given him a number.
and I think it's this match where we get another brain scan where Bobby tries to focus on one of Luger's arms, and Luger moves, so he's like, "No, not that arm. I mean the other arm," and has to draw an arrow pointing to his other arm.
Well, yeah, they did telegraph the way the match was going to go because they kept going on about the time limit, and it does reach a draw. After the match, Lex Luger, the valiant heel, asked for 5 more minutes, and fans are right behind him. But when Tatanka turns his head, Luger clotheslines and would still play forearm. So that's a draw, which means Bam Bam is getting a bye straight to the final. You lucky bastard.
He's knackered. He's knackered after that first round.
Can you imagine?
He's gonna kip. That's the problem. He was meant to come out straight after this to face Luger, but yeah, he fell asleep.
It's like when Man U played in the World Club Cup, isn't it?
Yeah. So next we see Gene, and he's with Bret Hart and Perfect, and Gene doing a bit of shit stirring.
Do not say earlier on that you would prefer to wrestle Mr. Perfect over Mr. Hughes, and why?
Well, I just wanted to wrestle Mr. Perfect because I have more respect for his wrestling
You think
ability.
he's an easier opponent than Mr. Hughes would be?
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah,
That's not what I said.
A fucking lot of shit stirring.
Oh, yeah, he had his
bald
own
headed toss pot.
Did you say you want to pick Perfect because he was an easy opponent? I didn't say that. What do you mean you said I was an easy opponent?
Well, you insinuated it.
Oh,
it just turns into a my dad's better than your dad thing as well, doesn't it, between the two of them?
Yeah.
Let's draw a couple of analogies. Both of you are second-generation wrestlers. Your father, a great one, and of course, Larry the Axe, a great one, but did the two of them ever meet? I'm very curious.
Yeah, they met. My dad beat his dad.
Your dad never beat my dad. Hey, I remember SummerSlam, Hart. I owe you.
Your dad sells Avon.
Yeah, don't you talk about my daddy. Well, don't you talk about my daddy.
Well, Perfect, he brings it right back like 2 years earlier to SummerSlam 91. Hey, I remember SummerSlam. I owe you.
Yeah, and then Brett, though, he's brilliant, goes, I remember as well, because I won.
He may as well have just stuck 2 fingers up on each hand and just gone.
Oh, well, Perfect does one thing better. He puts his hand out for a handshake. Brett goes to shake it, and Perfect pulls his hand back. I got you. Like I'm going to get you in the ring.
So
they were having so much fun when he was doing it.
You had Mean Gene shit stirring like a child. You had my dad's better than your dad like a child, and you had whoops, shake hands, no, like a child. These were 2 big kids.
Yeah,
but it was brilliant.
It was a playground bitching session.
But it was amazing. This is the thing. It shouldn't have been good, but because you've got Brett and Perfect there, it just worked.
Yeah, it was great, and that's the next match. The semi-final: Bret Hart v Mr. Perfect. Perfect gets in the ring, throws a towel. El Hebner catches it, so him and Dave will be selling that outside.
He'll sell 15 of them.
Yeah, after forging Perfect's signature on it, obviously.
Oh yeah. And like we mentioned earlier, so the story going through the night is Brett's fingers, and GR points out that Brett's got finger tape on his fingers. So, like I said, good old storytelling. Oh God, I miss the 90s. good pace start off the matches, exchange body slams. When's the last time you've seen someone hit a body slam?
Yeah.
Well, Dave Meltzer claims that the CM Punk Daniel Garcia match was built around a body slam.
Dave Meltzer also claims he's a journalist.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer also gave 4.5 stars to a match he said he hated and he wishes to never see it again.
Oh, Dave Meltzer. So someone was talking about Benoit and Jericho, the ladder match at Royal Rumble for the IC title. Great match. I recommend it. And someone mentioned it to Meltzer. Meltzer said, yeah, it's an underrated match. And someone wrote back, well, don't you rate the matches?
Yeah, and I underrated it. 3 stars.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. To steal a line from Bruce Pritchard. That's the one positive thing I will say about Pritchard tonight. But yeah, just body slams, headlocks, and Bobby, another line of the night. Perfect wins, and he apologises. Might consider being his manager again.
There was excellent commentary again in this match. Randy Savage said that Mr. Perfect has a salty past, just as I do. He'll do whatever he needs to do. And Bobby Heenan was saying that Bret Hart has a salty past. It's salt, pepper, and Tabasco.
One of a kind, ain't he? Just these quips. He's just one of a I think the closest colour commentator I've listened to him is probably someone like Paul Heyman. When Paul Heyman was doing his stint with JR, he, like me and Max was doing it for UTT podcast for the upcoming, might be out by then, but the simulcast. But him and JR were so good together, Heyman and JR. And on commentary,
JR the fuck up.
Oh yeah, but this is what Bobby's doing, ain't it?
Yeah.
When you think about it,
It's amazing.
And anything's better than Lawler.
Yeah. I've farted better commentary than Jerry Lawler.
The sad thing is, though, it's not like we're not going to see Jerry Lawler on this very show, which puts a whole dampener on it. But yeah, getting back to this match, though, it's a clinic. It's another clinic. I mean, we've covered multiple Bret and Perfect matches now, and they just seem to get better. They just seem to get better and better and better. And they're already starting at a level way above everybody else in the company. And they just keep like raising that bar time and time and time again. It's outstanding wrestling.
This match, when it got to about the 15-minute mark, and I was watching it, that's been 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, they pace it perfectly. You never feel like it's dragging. You never feel like it's flying by too fast. Everything they do is so well measured. And it really is, as much as I said, Bret had a great foil in Razor Ramon earlier, Bret and Perfect do just have that magic and that chemistry that leads them to have nothing less than, like you said, nothing less than a stellar match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just sort of seemed to go through phases. It started out technical, it became hard hitting, it was quite emotional by the end. There was definitive phases to the match.
Yeah, storytelling, like James said earlier, it's storytelling in the ring, which Bret obviously excelled at, and he's probably the best ever. But Perfect ain't far behind him.
And towards the end of the match, Bret Hart's attempting the sharpshooter, but Perfect grabs his fingers, like we mentioned, rips them apart, and end of the match comes. Perfect hits a small package on Bret, but Bret rows it over for the 1, 2, 3. Just a great match, and Bret, I think Bret said in his book, Perfect should, it's one of his best friends. But he said the best match we had wasn't even on TV; it was like a live show. This was during when Bret was still tagging with Anvil, but Perfect was IC champ, and they just never had a bad match. This match and the match at SummerSlam 91, just 2 great matches. It's a shame we never got our third on TV. Well, I don't think we got them again. I might be wrong, but just great matches. So big pop after when it does happen. Both shakes hands, and that's lining up for Bam Bam Bigelow and Bret Hart final. So Mags's favourite part of the show, we see Gene Oakland, and he's with Hulk Hogan there.
That fucking
Did you like that jacket?
It makes me cringe. And what makes it even worse is Jimmy tries to kind of like shake to make it look like the actual jacket is the one talking. And then when the camera zooms out, it actually looks like he's wanking.
Yes.
Jimmy actually looks like he's actually
not looking like he is.
Yeah. But yeah, this was cocaine fueled. This was the Tony Khan style promo. He was sniffed up on this. It made absolutely not a lick of sense.
Cocaine.
Yeah. Just getting on to Tony Khan. Did you see his reply to a question on Busted Open? He was asked a 6-word question. Have you ever thought about not talking? And he gave a 2,000-word answer.
Fucking hell! Wow.
It's massive. I'll send you the transcribe of it. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
This interview was sickening when Gene Oakland called him perhaps the greatest hero in the history of the planet. Yeah. Fuck off, Gene. Fuck off. He's a walking hot dog.
This man has red, white, and blue running through his veins, and he was born and raised in the USA.
Jimmy up. He's got the red, white, and blue in his veins.
Yeah, it was overly cringe. I mean, back in '93, I bet it was good. I bet it got the crowd G'd up and got the audience G'd up. But now, knowing what we know about Hulk Hogan, it's horrific. It's a very kind of a backslapping, overly grandiose. I'm the best, and I'm going to destroy everyone. Like I am America promo. It's ridiculous. He's an idiot.
Maybe because Hogan's got the red, white, and blue running through his veins. You know, if he's got that much Aquafresh in his system, maybe that's why he's so orange.
But at least he's got clean teeth.
Jimmy Hart in this promo admits to Hogan being a wanker because he says the power's in his palm.
Cody Rhodes saw this promo and he thought, that'll work in 2021.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna walk out dressed like Homelander, a character who's so egotistical he masturbates off buildings.
I know what I can do to get myself over with the American fans. I'll beat up the mixed race foreigner.
I mean, that is a callback to Hogan.
He did say Hogan and Roxy's favourite match of all time. He also says Star Wars: The Last Jedi is a great film, so I don't know about Cody. Definitely snorting some asbestos over there in Jacksonville.
Rise of the Skywalker was good, though.
He dresses like George Cole from Minder, so it's not all bad.
Fight, just no done.
What was that, James?
No. The whole sequel trilogy.
Oh, I hope it starts sounding a proper trilogy out now.
I could go on a 2-hour fucking rant about The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Just two totally different conversations going on.
No sense at all.
But it makes more sense than that Hogan promo.
I want Cody Rhodes rocking up now in a Ford Capri. Rocking up to
They should do it. I mean, they always have, when they're at Jacksonville, they always have someone turning up in a car, whether it's the Revival or Trent's mum's Sue, you know. So, yeah, why not? Dennis Waterman, Ford Capri.
You know, Cody would have to rent a Lamborghini for a day or a Ferrari or something like that.
They would have done this in TNA. When they were with Challenge, they always had tie-ins to the programs. You know, they should be doing ITV4 tie-ins.
Just giving away a speedboat.
Let's have a look at what you could have won.
Oh, you could have won the TNA title, but you're going on with your bus fare.
That'd have been a great expansion on Feast of Fired.
But yeah, so it's the WWF title, not in the main event. It's Yokozuna, the challenger, hoping to regain his title against Hulk Hogan. What do you make to the photographers ringside? Did any of them appear sneaky to you or out of place?
No, not at all. I thought they all looked like they fitted in, especially that one with a very grey wig on that was absolutely not fake whatsoever.
I mean, it's clear that CZ Top didn't make as much money in the music career as everyone thinks they did. They had to have part-time jobs as photographers.
And commentary says Hulk Hogan, Yokozuna, Hulk Hogan weighs at 550 pounds. That'll be a fucking sight. Yokozuna's at 550 pounds, and JR says Hulk Hogan has lost weight to be quicker. Translation: he's got no steroids.
Yes, so he'd be faster and he'd have better endurance. No, what he means is he's not juiced up to the gills.
He's indulged in the German workout technique called Keinergas.
WWF don't have the money for the steroids anymore because they're spending it all on Rent-A-Geisha.
Funny enough as well, like Shout Out the Bang Bang podcast just made an appearance on there, and we see Hulk Hogan 1985. And yeah, there's 8 years in between, but wrestlers like during the time in WWE don't really age, I've noticed. But Hulk Hogan, the size difference, like from 85, I think it was 85 to 93, he's literally half the man what he was.
He's gone from 6'9" to 6'2",
and yet has got the same amount of hair.
12-inch pythons.
What did you think as he shrunk that more hair would come out like the Play-Doh hairdressers?
Yeah, like Mopper Top Shop. You push them together, more hair comes out. With Hogan, yeah, that hair's running on fumes.
The fans love him, though.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah, wrestling fans were idiots in the early 90s.
Oh, what? You mean they're educated now?
No,
they're bigger fucking. They're bigger marks now than they was when the kayfabe was alive and well.
Careful, James. We don't want to upset the demo.
No, we're not. It's not about the demo anymore. It's about the Fast Nationals now. The demo is out the window.
What the fuck is a Fast National?
So you know, up to speed with these wrestling terminologies. So you get the Nielsen, which is like the ratings, but the Fast National is like an estimated version of the Nielsen that comes out. Exactly, it is that boring. It actually is that boring. But that's the new talking point. It's the Fast Nationals. Who can break the Fast Nationals?
AEW did this rating in this quarter. Fuck off and watch whatever wrestling you like, you sad swats. Fuck me.
I'll have you to believe that in West Bridgford, Nottingham, with people named Steve, we had a #1 wrestling podcast in that demographic.
you joke about that, but Dave Meltzer literally did that for one of the breakdowns. He said, in the Chicago area, between the ages of 18 and 25, AEW led the demographic. Like, fuck off, Dave.
Dave, you're reading this far into it. You could be tidying up.
Yeah, I mean, the thing why he leads into it, because he doesn't want to face up to the fact he needs to tidy up the scruff.
I mean, the thing is, he's clearly being paid for these opinions, and you've just got to worry how many hours he spent trawling through the statistics to find something that would look good.
It was at least some minutes. I'm not entirely sure he didn't make it up.
Yeah, I mean,
he does have a track record, to be fair to him.
Who the fuck's going to check that?
Well, how many people take his word as verbatim anyway?
Population does.
If you question,
technically, everything he said can be taken as verbatim.
No, but I mean, without fact checking,
is the gospel truth?
Yes, you pedantic fucker.
the book of Meltzer. I mean, that's the lost book of the Bible.
Yeah.
The book of Shagger Dave.
Yeah, the wise men didn't follow a 1 star; they followed a 5 stars.
But only in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, Jesus born in the Tokyo Dome.
The Dave C. Scrolls.
Back to 1993.
Let's not bother. It's a fucking organ match. The good thing about it is he got beat. Thank fuck.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, my favourite part is when Macho Man breaks the fourth wall, saying that Bret Hart should be the one facing Hogan tonight. But that's Jack Tunney's decision. I don't know if I can agree on that. But yeah, Yoko takes control early on, misses a corner splash though. Hogan, punch, and big leg drop. goes to slam Yoko, but no joy. We're gonna fire for this time. Go straight to the end. Yoko hits big belly to belly, which gets a 2 count. Hulk saw.
Is that the one that Hogan sold as if he'd been electrocuted?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Big boot and does a third big boot, leg drop, 1-2 kick out, which I was surprised with. From what I think that's only the second time someone's kicked out the leg drop after Sid. So congrats, Yoko, that's an achievement. Hogan motions a slam. Do I sound very patronising?
Congratulating him about something that happened like 28 years ago. Well done.
It's not even like he can hear you. Congratulations.
Motions a slam. Gets blinded by the bearded photographer, Flashfire. Yoko hits a big leg drop. 1, 2, 3. And the new. And you see the little Hulk Hogan fan in attendance, and he must be thinking, it's happening again.
But every time I dress up like Hulk Hogan, they fuck him over.
But did you notice after Yoko won, all the cameras just focused on Hogan being blinded? Because even in defeat, he has to be the centre of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Yoko gets his moment backstage in that same stupid locker room where we saw a little bonsai tree in a bath. So yeah, he doesn't even get the chance to essentially pause in the ring because Hogan has to be the main man.
But at least Yoko gives him a bonsai drop.
Yeah, you've been really unfair here because then Rene Goulet comes out and gives him the Goulet rub.
Yes, he gets the rub. He gets the Goulet rub.
Do you reckon if Yokozuna hit a bonsai drop and then farted, he could cave someone's chest in?
Yeah.
I bet he's done that before. There's a lot of downward pressure.
Just bump, wallop.
Yeah, and just be so sorry.
Okay then.
I don't even know where that comes from. Jesus Christ. He's living the gimmick. That's what it is.
Fucking cancel, Mags.
Oh, Mags dropped his gas there.
It's not the first time.
But,
so Max is volunteering to edit the podcast, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll download and I'll be cutting that bit right out before I send it to James.
2-minute review. Oh, this is a short one.
We do get the iconic call, though, of Hulkamania is dead.
Oh, yeah.
And thank fuck for that.
Yeah, not before time.
And it is. This is the end of Hulk Hogan for the podcast, unless we go to WCW. Doesn't return till No Way Out, 2001. 2001, 2002, 2002. So yeah, how long is that without Hogan? 9 years without Hogan. So so he joins WCW. Was it the following year he joins WCW? I think so. Yeah, and
because he took time off to do. Was it Thunder in Paradise, something like that? He was filming.
That's right. And then obviously the infamous turn up Bash of the Beach, 95. Greatest heel turn of all time, and give him credit, like he was the biggest babyface of the 80s, and he goes on to be pretty much the biggest heel of the 90s. Probably side by side, maybe behind Vince McMahon. It's it's a debate, but yeah. So we've had a lot of pleasure watching Hogan, a lot of laughter and such. So
have we had a lot of pleasure watching Hogan? Have we had a lot of pleasure taking the piss out of Hogan?
1990 Hulk Hogan was okay when we was watching him against Warrior and such, but yeah, 92. Not so great. 93, just exposed what he was. That was give him credit, he's the greatest backstage politician of all time. Not so great when he's in his friend's bedroom revealing some secrets on tape, but backstage in the WWF arena, he's the greatest. So next we see Terry Taylor again, and he's interviewing Mr. Perfect. Perfect's pissed off.
This would have been brilliant if Perfect just dry slapped Taylor right across the face and went, "Fuck off, Terry Taylor," and then just walked off.
If they had that at every pay-per-view, the wrestlers had to buy raffle tickets and at halftime they draw the raffle ticket, and the winner gets to slap Terry Taylor across the face and tell him to fuck off.
I think half the fans would want to chip in that as well, though.
Yeah.
I think it was Bret Hart. When he joined WCW, so Terry Taylor was the agent over there when he joined, and I forgot who he's talking to, but he sat down in the locker room, and Terry Taylor comes in, gives Bret Hart the face. Yeah, you're doing this, you're doing that. So Terry Taylor walked out, and Bret Hart said, "Did the fucking Red Rooster just tell me how to wrestle?"
I think we should see more of Terry Taylor's booking anyway. I think he's a bloody good booker.
It's fucking awful. Some of those Terry Taylor. I mean, but the thing is, Terry Taylor's a reputation for being a dirt sheet stooge. And unless you actually go back and watch what he's done, which is utter shite, you wouldn't know, because, you know, there's all these other bookers that have got a bad reputation. You know, Dusty Rhodes with dusty finishes, and Kevin Sullivan's crazy cage matches that are electrified and all this sort of stuff, and Vince Russo on a pole. No one ever says shit about Terry Taylor, but his booking's wank.
Yeah.
It's because it was all round wank, but at least it was consistently wank, so nobody noticed a dip in quality.
There was no highs or lows. It was just level wanking.
There was rock bottom 50 feet of shit in Terry Taylor's booking.
Well, he's so much worse than all of the rest put together.
Yeah.
Jesus. So next we see Gene, and he's with Shawn Michaels, and he's with Diesel. And says what he could. Will gets asked if Will Lightning Strike tries, and he says no, he's not going to lose the title. And calls Hulk Hogan a dinosaur because he isn't the same caliber as Shawn Michaels. Hulk Hogan, 12 years later, we'll get you, you son of a bitch. At SummerSlam.
We'll see who's selling for who.
But this was another cocaine-fueled promo. Shawn Michaels could not keep still. How many times did he pull a face or wiggle his eyebrows, and he chewed the flavour out of that gum? He was definitely on some nose candy there.
And this is Diesel's debut. He joined over from WCW, where they booked him as Oz, the Great and Powerful.
And Vinny Vegas as well.
And the Master Blaster.
The Master Blaster. What a horrible...
Poor guy.
Captain Cumshot.
He got over in the end. He was also the Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze.
That makes him a crossover star.
Yeah. But yeah, so next we see it's the Steiner Brothers and the Smoking Guns, and they're against Money Inc. and the Head Shrinkers. And DiBiase and Scott Steiner starts things off. JR talks about having a rodeo scholarship. Bobby Heenan replies, "Do you know anyone that didn't go to school?"
Later on, you get Heenan. Heenan just carries on the ridicule of the rodeo. Just because those are the two guys with the brooms who follow the animals.
The Head Shrinkers manager, Affer, grabs IRS's briefcase. What's he doing with it? Talking about the briefcase.
It's so funny when he's mugging off to the camera with the briefcase in his hand.
At least he's not chomping on a turkey leg this time.
It wasn't even a turkey leg, was it? It was some kind of giant wing.
And end of the match comes what do you call it? DiBiase let's go the $1 Million Dream, and Billy Gunn gets him the small package 1, 2, 3, and best part of the match is when they're all brawling afterwards, and the Smoking Guns music is playing out in the background afterwards. It was like it was a bar brawl.
I still do not know why Ted DiBiase let go of the $1 Million Dream.
It makes no sense.
Match man calls him an idiot.
Yeah, and the last before the camera cuts away, you get Scott Steiner shouting at the top of his lungs, "That's what you get for being cocky."
Great kid, don't get penisy.
I got him!
right, kid. Don't get penisy.
But this was way too short for an 8-man tag. What was it? Go like 7 minutes or something like that. It was
not even that. I don't think.
Yeah, it was filler. It was absolute filler. And to give Billy Gunn the win, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's disappointing. They needed the 8 minutes just so that Jim Ross could run down everyone's university.
Yeah, and their college football records.
Which school did the head coach go to?
I just tune out when he's talking about college football. It's like, fucking hell, Jim.
It really confuses me why people are so invested in America in, like, kids playing sport. They don't get paid. They don't get paid, but there's like 100,000 people that turn up to see one university play another.
Yeah, it's mental. And they have huge stadiums as well, like massive stadiums for colleges.
Bigger than most Premier League football grounds.
It's crazy.
What the fuck, America?
We should get an American to watch a British university sport, you know. It's
rowing. It's just like rowing and rugby.
I'll take them to a university rugby game.
Wearing that ball. But yeah, next we see Yokozuna with Gene, Mr. Fuji, and Jack Tunney, and we got the music playing in the background, and Mr. Fuji, Prince Akihito, you got married bride from Harvard in America.
And then I'll keep. I think it's Gene says something like, "I'm going to keep my eye on these cameramen, make sure there's not one what's going to explode." And Fuji's like, "Why are you talking about camera? What are you talking about camera for? Hogan is finished."
He's not wrong.
Oh no. And next we see the IC title match. The challenger Crush against the champion Shawn Michaels, who regained the title from Marty Jannetty after he made another brief return and left again, got fired again. Big drop kick by Crush and Mullet Party. You got HBK, you got Diesel, Crush, and young Mike Chioda.
It's a solid mullet match.
It was.
And
this is the best version of Crush, this Hawaiian Crush. He's had some ropey gimmicks in his career, but this is the best one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On a change in attitude, we've got former prison convict Crush right now with a face tattoo and a nose ring that links a chain to his ear. So, yeah, this is probably the best Crush.
That's the updated nails, isn't it? Nails updated the Attitude Era.
And with dreadlocks as well.
Yeah.
Where did it all go wrong for him? You know, I mean, obviously Mark Jannetty was off doing Mark Jannetty things, but was Crush off doing Crush things to get into that position?
No idea. But his look, you think he would be a top star because he was a big guy. He was agile. He was relatively good in the ring. I'm surprised he didn't get kind of like higher than like tags and mid card wrestling.
He was the Kiss Demon for a week.
Oh, Jesus, God, that's on the top of his CV.
I love Macho Man after Crush hits a press slam. Shakalaka bra, shaka bra. He tried to get that over so many times during his match. But one of the big spots as well, though, Diesel distracts Crush, and HBK grabs Crush's head and slams the back of Crush's head into the turnbuckle on the outside. That looked pretty freaking vicious.
But then you get JR hyperbole. I've never seen anybody hit someone in the back head so many times. It's brutal. And I'm like, come on, JR, man. It's fake. It's pretend farting, pal.
Tone it down a notch, love.
Yeah. Just keep going on about his football record. You stick to that, JR.
I was just going to say, Max, it was a blessed relief he'd stop banging on about.
But yeah, Chris is making a big comeback, and then Two Dunks comes out marching with smoking cigars, and
I only saw one dunk.
I saw two.
I only saw one each. I think that
Bobby Heenan said there was only one, so I think we've got to take his word for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's never told a lie.
And Shawn Michaels hits the screeching music to the back of Crush's head, and for the 1, 2, 3, Crush instantly gets up and chases him, dunk to the back.
I've been down for 3 seconds. Wait a minute, those two clown bastards.
Fucking clowns. Gene is with Bam Bam Bigelow and this big monster intimidating heel. I feel fresh as a daisy. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's not something you ever expect to hear Bam Bam say.
And so the main event is for the King of the Ring. It's Bam Bam Bigelow against Bret Hart, and Bret's limping to the ring. So not only has he got broken fingers, but he's got a limp. Just for the scratch.
He should have sold it by coming out with crutches.
Wheeled on a gurney.
And a cast. His arm in a cast and one crutch like that. No,
and an eye patch.
Yeah, but it's great storytelling from him. You don't get many wrestlers who would keep up that selling all the way through the show. So yeah, I've got to give him props for that. It's amazing.
Just you wait until SummerSlam, Mags.
And Bam Bam overhead punches, and gorilla presses reverse into a crossbody, which was a good spot. Then he press slams Bret outside, and I say Bret's doing some unbelievable selling, but he also looks fucked. JR said that, which was one of the things I mentioned before, like JR said that how Bret looked so small even though he's at 234 pounds, which today's wrestling, that's like a super heavyweight.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Bam Bam Irish whips Bret into the barricade, but Bret reverses it, and then Luna comes out. She hits Bret with a chair in the back.
Does she hit him though? Or does she rub his back with a chair? Because that is the weakest chair shot. I mean, I know CTE is a thing, but back in the 90s, they didn't give a shit about that. But she literally just brushes it gently against him and then runs off. So she creeps down, brushes against him with a chair, and then runs like the lightning to get out of there. It's ridiculous.
It was kind of like a steel caress, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. She hasn't been to the Terry Funk School of Chair Shots, has she?
She's been to the Terry Taylor School of Chair Shots.
And Bam Bam hits the top rope headbutt. 1, 2, 3, and we've got a new King of the Ring. Then people start leaving, but then El Hebner comes out, and the decision's reversed. The people's like, "Oh fuck," and start turning around. Fink makes a decision. He gets, he says that the winner is Bret. I think he said the decision's been reversed, but then he apologizes. He's like, "Oh no!"
Earl Hebner goes fucking off on one on him. That's why.
Yeah,
the referee's decision's supposed to be final. This whole thing about no video replays in the World Wrestling Federation and stuff. I mean, this is the ultimate screw job.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying they make up the rules as they go along?
Yeah, they're bringing the sport into disrepute here, but
it is.
I was going to say, Rob, how dare you suggest that anybody's bringing the sport of Jimmy Savile into disrepute?
I know, outrageous. But I mean, for me, they should just ended the show here. I'd have been happy.
I wouldn't.
King Bam Bam.
King Bam Bam.
Nope, need King Bret.
And
Mark.
Yes.
You drone.
Yeah, you AEW sexual.
Bret Hart sexual.
That's apparently a thing. AEW sexual.
Oh my fucking Christ!
They're actually proud of it. Jesus. Bam Bam's in the match gets restarted. Bam Bam's in control. Bret hits a great back suplex on Bam Bam, and end of the match comes where Bam Bam's got Bret into the corner, runs towards him. Bret puts his boot up and then rolls him to the victory row. And 1, 2, 3, and new King of the Ring, Macho Man leaves commentary, joins him into the ring for a hug, which I like that. I wish it's so wholesome.
Fucking partiality as a broadcaster. I'm going to go hug that man.
Yeah. Tony Gurria and Rene Goulet comes out and guides Bret Hart to the ring stage. But before we get to the final spot, what did you think of the match?
There was a brilliant line in commentary. Bam Bam had Bret Hart in a backbreaker submission, and Randy Savage said he's not going to submit. He's a second-generation wrestler. It's in his blood. And Bobby Heenan says, "Oh, well, his dad was a quitter, so he will be too."
Oh, God, they were so on form all night.
Oh yeah.
It was another great match. Sorry,
no, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Another great match, and another instance of Bret working with a top-level opponent and getting the best out of him, while also maintaining and really selling the fact that he's been in 2 wars throughout the night.
Well,
yeah,
this
and
made it 3 wars. This made it 3 war matches and 3 different kinds of victory. Yeah, it was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 3 at least 4-star matches. I mean, you could argue that this was maybe the weakest match of the 3, but these 3 matches still outshine everything else that was on the card. It's just, another star-making performance by Bret Hart. It's just scarily good.
What I'd like in this this pay-per-view too for Bret, in terms of Bret, is I'm a big fan of The Flash, the TV show. And part of that is his character called Harrison Wells. And every series they bring in a different version of that character. So it's from alternate universes, alternate worlds. And it really gets to show off the range of the actor. Mm-hmm. This pay-per-view did that for Bret, getting to show his diversity and his range in the types of match he can have. If you want to know just how good Bret is, watch this pay-per-view, watch each individual match, and tell me he isn't the best of all time.
Yeah, and the great thing about him as well is that even though he won all 3 matches, his opponents looked super strong because of how far he had to dig deep to be able to beat him. So he's essentially the wrestler that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, he always played the underdog great, and that was a good point because each match he was lucky to escape with a win. Like, you think about that first match, Razor was pretty much going to finish him off with a top rope back suplex, and Bret just about turned it round into a crossbody to get the pin. Second match, a small package, he managed to just kick it over just about to get the 1, 2, 3. Same with this, he was lucky that Bam Bam didn't squash him. He just got his boot up, managed to get him in a victory row, so he kind of escaped with 3 victories. Great match, really enjoyed it, and just 3 great matches. And end of the show comes where he's on the stage and he's getting presented the crown on the road by Gene Okerlund. And then Jerry Lawler comes out, interrupts him, and he claims himself the true king, and Bret calls him the Burger King.
The only kind of king you are is the Burger King.
Oh, no.
I had a Burger King the other night. First time in months. It was nice. Burger King's underrated. It's expensive.
So the advertising worked on you.
A month later.
Burger King.
Well, that's just how long it takes to make. It's not fast food, is it?
That just takes me. That just takes me how long to actually get some information to my head to process it.
I could go for an XL bacon double cheeseburger right now.
Oh, they are the bomb. I'm not a massive lover of fast food burgers, but the bacon double cheeseburgers from Burger King, they are delicious.
That 90s Wrestling Podcast is presented by Burger King. Sweet deal.
Yeah, King, if you want a deal, just get in touch. Slide into James's DMs.
Oh, that'd be skeevy.
or milk, or the pub. If any of you guys want to get involved. Castrol GTX.
I've done my bit supporting pubs today.
And Jerry attacks Bret, crushes the crown, throws the throne after him, which legit fucked up Bret's back, and fade to black. So weird ending. In fact, the heel ends on the high note, and your babyface, who you've booked through the whole night, is the main star of the show, you could say, booked week at the end, I suppose. But really enjoyed the show. Like we said, everyone, we had to review this again, so I did watch it some bits again today. So glad I was reviewing this and not some Survivor Series 91 again.
Well, I had a choice of watching parts of this show again or going day drinking with a friend of mine. So I've not watched this back. Just throwing it out there.
Just casually like it. Great show. Really enjoyed it, and this was the big apology from Vince McMahon to Brett because of what happened at WrestleMania. So
Vince's big apology is you're going to win a tournament. That's brilliant, but then you get a storyline with Jerry Lawler afterwards. I bet you felt like a winner.
Brett, you're going to be king of the ring, and this sex offender, allegedly, is going to beat you down.
Yeah. And you're going to end up having a kiss by foot match with him.
This feud lost the best
That's
part of 2
way better
years
than
now.
the world title, Vince.
Well, actually, in commentary, Randy Savage said that the King of the Ring was better than the world title, so I'm sure that's what they told him.
Brett probably believed it as well. I love Brett, but he would have been like, yeah, well, I was the real King of the Ring. Great show, though, but so we'll jump on to some awards. So, first award night, moment of the night. Thanks.
Let's go with, it's got to be Brett winning. The bit before Jerry Lawler is a dickhead and near enough tries to cripple Brett with a very, very heavy wooden throne. It's the crowning of Brett after a star making performance. I mean, he was already a star, but just kind of like rubber stamping the fact that he was a star. So it's got to be the moment is him being crowned as the king of the ring.
Well,
I don't think it's got to be that, because it's got to be the death of Hulkamania, because Hulk Hogan's fucked off.
Well, I mean...
Done.
As much as I'm a Bret Hart mark, I've got to agree with Rob. It is Yokozuna killing Hulkamania and knowing that we don't have to deal with any of that fucking hot dog looking motherfuckers bullshit for a while.
Next week we're reviewing Starcade 96. Starcade 95.
56% of the gate.
Starcade 95. Hulk Hogan, feed the butcher.
Next week, the finger pork of doom.
Ed Leslie main evented Starcade, everyone. Just saying.
Jesus.
I'm tied with both, but probably the end of Hulkamania. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed Hulk Hogan, I have, but it was well timed for him to finally go. Definitely was. So, cool. Next award, match of the night. So, which Bret Hart match are we voting for?
All three. But no, seriously, it's perfect. It's Bret versus perfect. It's hard to kind of overshadow their SummerSlam match, but for me, I think this might just do it. This was a clinic, an absolute clinic.
Yeah, this Bret Hart perfect match isn't just the match of the show. It's one of Bret Hart's best matches, and that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bret versus perfect. Got to be head and shoulders the best match on the card. I can't really say any more from what's already been said, but absolutely Bret v perfect.
Cool. Clean sweep it is then, Bret and perfect. And MVP of the night. It's Bret, isn't it?
It's Bret, yeah.
The two doinks.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was Bret.
Yeah.
No, it's Bret. It's massively Bret. Every time he's on the show, he seems to be the MVP. But this time he's on almost half of the matches, and they are the best matches on the card without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, it's Brett.
It's 3 quality matches against 3 very different opponents in 3 very different styles, and it's well over half an hour in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be anybody but Brett.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's listening or watching this, like, if you want to watch a pay-per-view, and I would imagine you have already watched this again, but go back and watch Brett's 3 matches. Or if someone asks you, and if you are big Bret Hart fans, if they say to you, why do you consider Bret Hart to be the best wrestler of all time? Just point them to King of the Ring 93 and tell them, watch them 3 matches, 3 very different matches, 3 very different finishes, and he never used his finisher in one of them. And he told a story all the way through the night. And this is just the Bret Hart. This is the night where, like, Vince McMahon, surely, I know it's weird because Vince McMahon's always had Bret kind of the backup champion, I've always find. He never really fully committed to him as champion, I believe. He was always there in place because next we see him try to get Luger over as the next big guy. That didn't work, so they put the belt, back onto Bret. Then they tried Diesel. That didn't work, so they put the belt back onto Bret. Like, it's always like they've never really fully committed to Bret. But yeah, this is the night where Bret Hart showed everyone, in my opinion, he was the best wrestler in the world at that time. So, cool. And final award night, lads. The mullet of the night. So, Mags, who you got tonight?
There's a hell of a lot to choose from as well. We went quite a while where we were relatively mullet free, but yeah, they've made up for it in this. I mean, in one match you can pick 4 people to have a mullet. I mean, you've got Crush, Diesel, Michaels, and Mark Kyoto all in the same match, all with glorious mullets. But it's got to be Crush. Crush's mullet it's so voluminous and flowing, goes halfway down his back. He has put in effort to make that a mullet. So yeah, I've got to give it Crush.
Rob?
It's got to be Hacksaw Jim Duggan for me. I mean, it had his hair done specially for his last pay-per-view match. It was soft, it was luxurious, it looked like he just stepped out of a salon.
I'm bending the rules slightly, and I'm giving a joint mullet of the night award to the Smoking Guns for having tandem mullets
and tandem tashes,
tag team mullets, tag team porn stashes. They wish they were the half the man that Steve Beaton is, but they tried their best.
Cool. I'm part of agreement. I'm going to go with the Smoking Guns also. So 2 for the price of 1. I actually worked for
value for mullet.
I actually worked for a guy who had a mullet the other day.
Was he a wrestling fan by any chance?
No,
did he pay with silver dollars and moonshine?
He was actually Colombian.
Was his wife his sister?
Okay. I turned up, and his name is Luis, and I got there, and he was a great mullet. It would definitely would have been a mullet tonight. It was black on the mullet, but at the top it was blonde.
Wow! So
yeah, he really committed to this mullet.
2-tone mullet.
And fucking Pepe Le Pew.
He did.
Ombre mullet.
It took the strength of anything to stop me from taking a picture and posting it.
Yeah, but your
Why didn't you get a selfie with him?
The top part of your picture, though, it would have been blue. It would have had blue at the top and black at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, this was before the screen went, believe it. But, so, Louise, if you are shouting out, thanks for the job, and also thanks for your mullet. Well, so yeah, great show, lads. I really enjoyed that. Next stop, we're boarding the Lex Express, and we're going to SummerSlam 1993. So some big moments, and I can't say I've watched this pay-per-view for a long time. I know Rob's already watched it. So
we're supposed to be recording it tonight, so I'm worried that you haven't.
I haven't watched it since yesterday.
Well, you can be like the bus driver of the Lex Express who got to watch the pay-per-view on a little screen in the bus.
That was bullshit. Poor bastard. Anyway, we'll come to that in a month.
I mean,
As a bonus episode,
imagine
we had...
spending the time driving Lex Luger around. That must have been the most boring conversations ever.
Oh, we're definitely going to do it as a bonus episode one day, watching the Lex Express, the full 3-hour episode. We're definitely doing it one day.
I am busy that day.
I've scheduled in a lobotomy.
That is the lobotomy. Watch that, and it's like a lobotomy.
I'd rather the quick version, just spike in the brain, vegetable.
Yep. Well, everyone, thanks for watching this. Before we do go, though, tell everyone where they can find you. Max, we'll start with you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at PodfatherMags. I'm involved in way too many podcast content creation than any one man should be involved in. I'm all over Radio Techers, all over Chairshot and Visionaries Gold Media. So follow me on Twitter. It's all about the likes, about the mutuals and not the follows. Gimmick infringement there. But yeah, come and check me out.
Rob?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. Max will steal my intellectual property.
Property, anyway.
Yeah, maybe not intellectual. You can find myself and Dan on Unbooking the Territory. We're currently going through the Monday Night Wars, reviewing the highest and lowest episodes for each creative period, but we'll be going on to something a little bit different in season 2, so keep your eyes out for that. And we're available on the 90s Wrestling Podcast channel, but we're also available on our own channel for Unbooking the Territory. And again, there'll be some special bonus episodes coming there soon, so vitally important to be subscribed to both. You can find me at UTT Rob. My gimmick's being stolen, so just follow me there.
No. Hit the gimmick. Gimmick.
You follow me there, and it's a lottery. I might follow you back, I might not.
He will.
Has there ever been anyone that's followed you and you haven't followed back, Rob? That's the big question.
I mean, it's the stuff that would get me sacked at work if anyone saw their account, like, what's my timeline, you know? There was a guy who followed me the other day who was trying to say that Hitler wasn't that bad. You know, it was like, I think
Oh, for Jesus.
Moving along, Dan.
You can find me on Twitter at DanGriffin21, usually tweeting about wrestling that's minimum 6 weeks out of date, or movies that are 25 years out of date. Yeah, come along, I talk a lot of shit. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Oops. And yeah, and if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at 90s Wrestling Pod. Follow me on Instagram, that 90s Wrestling Podcast. And we've also got the Facebook group, that 90s Wrestling Podcast. And yeah, please, if you listen to this on podcast form, subscribe, leave us a comment, 5-star rating would really be helpful. If you're listening, watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. We're on the road to 2,500 subscribers, so would be great to hit that before Halloween, even though this episode might be out after Halloween. But if I'm a good boy and I work hard, I'll try and get it out beforehand. But yeah, please subscribe, like, and if you have enjoyed it, please comment and do that. And if you're listening vice versa, then subscribe to both, listen to both, give us twice as many views. Also got the new channel with Renee Dupree, Cafe de Renee. We talk about the latest news in wrestling while also having some more guests, and yeah, great show with that. So if you want to follow that, that's on the podcast and on YouTube. So till then, catch you in the next one. Bye.